Slimmy, Ego, Slimmy, Ego, Slimmy, Ego, Slimmy, hey. You already know what's up. What's that? Another home run. But you know the job ain't done till we hold that trophy up. Hey.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome, episode 597 of the Talking Friars podcast and YouTube show. Ben Fadden with you here. It is May 12th, 2024. Padres, they take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. They're winning the season series so far. They very well could win their first season series against the Dodgers for the first time since, I believe, 2010. At least that's one of the tweets that I just saw from John Schaefer, friend of the show. But yeah, fun weekend. I know yesterday Padres lost. That was not fun. But Friday, unofficial start to the weekend on Friday night with Luis Arraez. Great welcome to San Diego moment for him. And then today, Darvish facing his former team and dominates them. And he has been dominating whoever he has faced since he has come back from off the IL with that neck tightness. So, I mean, I'm hoping that Joe can do that same thing, assuming that he'll be good to go for, I think, that Brave series when he comes off the IL. But yeah, today was great. This series was, for the most part, great. And whenever you can take 2 out of 3, regardless of how it happens, maybe you want some more runs scored yesterday, more runs scored maybe on Friday. I know it was against Tyler Glasnow, but there's probably some fans out there that feel like the Padres needed to score more there so that they didn't have to go into the bottom of the ninth like that. But regardless of the situation, you're going to take 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. When they were coming into this series, let's remember this, winning 7 consecutive games in a row, sweeping the Braves, who are the other NL favorite between them and the Dodgers. It's them two for World Series favorites coming out of the National League. Swept the Braves, swept the Marlins, and then they come in here and the Padres say, no, take 2 out of 3. Michael King dominates. Darvish dominates. Matt Waldron, by the way, did his job. I mean, I think that's something that we should bring up. It's just the starting pitching as a whole. I'll go back to a friend of the show, John Schaefer here, because I did not catch this during the broadcast. I must have been doing something. But when Wandy was on the mound today, the Padres broadcast put up a graphic that said Padres starters have had 4 consecutive starts allowing 2 or fewer hits across 5+ innings pitched, the first time to happen in Major League Baseball, the whole league, since at least 1893. So is that good? I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty darn good. I'll say that again. 4 consecutive starts allowing 2 or fewer hits across 5+ innings pitched. Darvish today, Waldron Saturday, King on Friday, and then Cease in the series finale against the Cubs. Pretty darn good. 4 consecutive series wins by the Padres. So they're playing good baseball. I said before this series, if they lose this series, they get swept, whatever. It's not the end of the world. It's 3 games. And so I'm not going to sit here and say, okay, the Padres, they're going to be, going to the World Series this year. Or they're definitely going to contend with the Dodgers for the NL West. Like, I'm not even going to do that. But coming off of this series, I am confident that this team will be a postseason team. There's a long way to go. I totally understand that. But there are things headed in a very positive direction with this team. We could talk about the bullpen struggles. We could talk about Xander Bogaerts and Manny Machado. By the way, Xander with the home run today. That was great to see. We could talk about some of the struggles, but all things considered, going into the season, maybe our expectations, some maybe had lower expectations than others. I thought that this team could be a postseason team, but right now, if you would have told me that this is what would have happened, you tell me this in spring training or right before the season starts, I would have said, yeah, I'll take this all freaking day. No doubt about that. I would take that all day. So now the Padres, they enter this Rocky series at 22-21, which some Dodger fans are probably going to be like, you're all excited about a team that's 1 game over 500. But what I would say is, well, we didn't have the expectations going into the season as high as the Dodgers did. We lost Juan Soto, Blake Snell, Michael Wacha. Seth Lugo, by the way, has like a sub-2 ERA with the Royals. And we've had the payroll constraints, lost our chairman, obviously, that we all freaking loved. It was a tough offseason. Now, spring training got a little bit better, right, with some of the moves, and then the Arraez trade, that got it better. But we didn't come in with these as high of expectations as we did last year. I think that's definitely fair to say. No doubt about that, right? And so far, look what's happening. We're without Joe Musgrove right now. Manny Machado hasn't really gotten it going. Xander Bogaerts has really been struggling. Excuse me, sorry. Still have the cough. Xander Bogaerts still has not gotten it going. He has been struggling really as of late and pretty much the whole year. We'll see if he can get that turned around. Ha-Seong Kim has been underwhelming this year, you know? Jackson Merrill got off to a really good start, but he hasn't continued that really good performance. I still like what I'm seeing, and overall, I like it. But, and we knew this, it wasn't going to be that this entire year, right? Best performers, Jay Cronenworth and Jurickson Profar, not the star players. The bullpen's been up and down, right? There's been some bad turns through the rotation, and yet the Padres find themselves a game over 500 and winning the season series against the Dodgers so far. Like, I'm going to take that any day of the week, and it feels like to me, sure, things can go down. Sorry, water break. Things can go down from here, obviously, but I'm liking where things are going. I'm encouraged for the most part. If you want to be negative after taking 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers, go find another show, I guess. Yeah, sorry about that. I've had something in my throat. I've been coughing. I've been sneezing. So, excuse me. But today, let's hit on today's game. By the way, if you want to join the show, click that link pinned up at the top of the chat. Right out of the gate, they got on Walker Buehler. I don't know what Walker Buehler was doing. Like, did he think that throwing fastballs was going to work? Gosh, dang it. I'm sorry, guys. Man, why did the cough? The cough was good all morning long. It hasn't been happening, and now it's happening, of course. Sorry, I had to mute my mic there because you guys don't want to hear me coughing. Geez Louise. So with Walker Buehler, this might not be a long show, guys. I apologize. With Walker Buehler, fastballs to Tatis, to Crony, it's like, did you think that was going to work? You know, especially the one to, I think the Tatis one was more down the middle, I believe. But I mean, it was fastballs. He was not approaching the Padres very well. And he was not on his night. He did not have a good day, that's for sure. And if you're a Padre fan, you're going to take that any day of the week. No doubt about that. Man, I'm having a rough one here, guys. Jeez. I apologize. I don't mind if you just log off right now and you don't watch the rest of this because you probably don't want to hear me coughing and sneezing. But I mean, like today, I was just really encouraged by the top of the order like that. Arraez had a hit, Tatis had a hit, Crony had a hit. Profar, he's hitting some balls hard. Xander with the home run. Merrill, 3-hit day. I don't want to have that not be mentioned. His OPS is back over 700. His average is at over 280. Bogaerts, his average today, his 2-hit day, went up to 211, which obviously is not great. But if if he would have went over today, I believe he would have went under 200. Under 200. So hopefully, and I've said this already this season, hopefully that home run can be what, you know, really kickstarts this thing for Xander and can really start to turn this corner for him. He had that error today where he was backing up on the ball. It was hit pretty hard, but backed up on it, got under his glove. I think that was in that ninth inning, eighth or ninth inning. So dang it. He's still going through it, obviously, just like I'm going through it right now. My goodness. What else here? Darvish, my goodness. This guy since coming off the IL has been tremendous. He has a 0 ERA since coming off the IL. They showed a graphic during the game. He had a 6 ERA before he went on the IL. Since then, it's been lowered down to 2.43. 7 innings, no earned runs, 1 walk. 7 punch outs. Wandy comes. Gosh dang it. Wandy comes in. No walks, 1 punch out. Suarez, a strikeout. No walks. His ERA, 0.49. We knew what was coming there from Robert, right? Fastball, 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 obviously. And really, like, maybe that thought crept in, like, oh, after Darvish, how are we going to get this to Suarez? But what was so big from Darvish was he didn't just go 5 innings like he had in previous outings. He went 7. He didn't go 6. He went 7. So when you're Mike Schilt and you're like, okay, I probably don't want to go to Enyo De Los Santos. I probably don't want to go to Yuki Matsui coming off of what has happened. Wandy, I believe his outing before this was decent. Okay, I'll go to Wandy for the 8th. Jeremiah Estrada was warming up. Probably don't want to go to him in like a big spot yet. And so that was so big from Darvish. And the emotion. I love seeing the emotion. You know? Someone where it's like, man, you can tell it really cares to that guy. Because for fans, we love this team so much and we care about these games so much. We have the passion for it. We get pissed off when things aren't going right. And we want to see that from guys. We want to see the passion, the joy when things are going right as well. And I think Darvish knew the circumstances and sorry about that. Like you have the opportunity to take 2 out of 3 and you're facing your former team, a team that you don't like, obviously. And you can save the bullpen as well. You know, your bullpen has been struggling. Give some of the guys an extra day of rest before the Colorado series. And you just make it easier on Mike Schilt and Ruben Niebla's lives, you know? And you're proving to them, to yourself, to the team, that, hey, I can go 7 innings. You know, I'm still you, Darvish. I'm still him, you know? And so that was so big. Fastballs, breaking balls, a lot of it was working today from you. So great job out of him. And we don't really see the passion that we saw from Darvish. We don't really see that too much. But you just know how much he cares and how much doing well, specifically against the Dodgers, means to him. He knows it means a lot to the city. And so it's great to see that. I'm telling you guys, I was not coughing this much during the game. I was not coughing this much this morning. And then, of course, it happens when I'm doing the show. So apologies again for like the 10th time already through the first like 15 minutes of the show. Yeah, it's not going to be a long one today, guys. Hopefully you understand. But the passion part, That brings me back to Friday's game. I know I'm hopping all over the place, but Friday with Luis Arraez and that single. Good thing I already gave my post-game reactions Friday and Saturday, so I don't have to go too long on that. If you want to see them, go to YouTube. I don't think I was coughing as much during those. I hope not. Or I edited out the coughing because I know I coughed during one of them, but I went back and edited it out so you didn't have to hear that. But this is live. Just got to keep going. But yeah, Rise. Jeez Louise. Arraez on Friday. It was one hit, but it was a huge hit, obviously. Glass now, props to him. He pitched really well. He dominated the Padres for the most part. Campy had the home run, which Padres don't win the game without Campy on Friday. He has the homer, makes it 1-0, and that was a bomb, by the way. 429 feet. Good to see him take that fastball out of the yard. And then in the ninth, he doubles. And then props to Tyler Wade, or props to Mike Schilt for having Tyler Wade go in the game. And then props to Tyler Wade as well. On that Arraez single, man, Wadey had some freaking wheels. He was, because Campy, I don't think he scores. On that sit here, he had to get a really good secondary or a really good jump if he was going to score there. But Wade showing off the wheels, because it's not like that was a gapper or hit down the line. It was up the middle. Outman, I think, was in center. Could be wrong. Charge it in. Throws it in to home, but, Wade beat the throw, obviously. So, good managing all around. I know there's been some where fans question. I've questioned Schultz lineups. I didn't like the lineup yesterday where you're facing the Dodgers. Put your best lineup out there. I get it. It's a lefty on the mound. But why are you not sending Jackson Merrill out there? Why are you not sending Cronenworth out there? When Croney has been one of your best players. And you could say matchups, but it's like you'd rather have a Zokar at the plate than Merrill? I mean, I wouldn't. I'd rather have Merrill up at the plate. I think a lot of fans, who would rather have a Zokar up at the plate over Jackson Merrill? Unless Merrill is super slumping, but he's not like in Xander Bogaerts territory. So I disagree with that. I mean, this was the lineup last night. Arraez, Tatis, Profar, Manny, Bogaerts. I was fine with Solano. I get it. But if you're going to do that, that means that Manny's DHing. But if I'm going to take someone out of the lineup, I'm having Arraez in it, obviously. I'm taking Xander out, and I'm putting Croney in. Jeez Louise. I'm taking Xander out. I'm putting Croney in. And I'd move, well, in this circumstance, Arraez to first, or to second. Croney at first. And then Manny's DHing, Solano at third. Merrill in center. I get Higgy catching because Waldron was on the mound, whatever. Okay. But it was the day game after the night game today for Campy to catch. I get it. But some of the other spots, I'm like, yeah, I don't really agree with that. Friday night, Michael King, what a freaking performance that was. Holy cow. 7 innings, no runs, 11 punch-outs. Walk 3. He wasn't happy about the about the 3 walks, but he dominated. that was the best Michael King that we have seen. I think so. If you say Milwaukee, that outing, okay. You could say that because he had the no-hitter, but he had the no-hitter going, I should say. But to face the Dodgers, this isn't the Brewers lineup. I get it. The Brewers, they're talented, but I mean, the Dodgers lineup is just a different level. The names in this lineup, you right off the top, Betts, Ohtani, Freeman. And sure, those guys did they combined for 4 hits on Friday. But obviously it wasn't damage enough. Wasn't good enough. The one run they scored. Oh wait, excuse me. Yeah, the one run they scored was on the sac fly in the 8th off of Matsui. It wasn't free. It wasn't Michael King. That was a sac fly. Mookie hit one hard, but maybe it would have been an out. But it went off of Matsui's shin, which allowed him to reach base. I just thought that, and King talked about this to, I think it was Sammy Levitt. I was listening to the pregame show today while I was driving around, and King was talking about how, like, in sync he was with Campy, like, on the same page, coming in, talking between innings about how to attack hitters, like, let's do this next time, or let's not do this next time. And Campy was on, like, that same wavelength. Like, yep, I agree, yep. And they were working it, and hopefully that relationship continues to be this good, continues to improve if there's any place that it can. But this, man, I wish I was in better health today because I'd love to talk about the series more. But I'm not going to be on here for an hour, when I'm coughing up a storm like this, because you guys don't want to hear that. But like this was one of the signature wins of the year, one of the memorable wins of the year. Sure, you have to come back against the Cubs, down 8-0. There's the Dodger win where Merrill had the go-ahead hit, right? There's the Dodger win. Was it Sunday Night Baseball? Yeah, Profar, the big hit that he had off the wall, the whole Mr. Irrelevant, right? Pretty relevant that game, pretty relevant hit there. And speaking of the guy who said that Profar was kind of irrelevant, Will Smith. What did he do in this series? He went 0 for. On Friday, he went 0 for 4, 0 for 3. 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts on Friday. Wow, great job, Will. Saturday, he went 0 for 3 with a punch out. And then today, he went 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Didn't get on base at all. So, pretty irrelevant series from Will Smith, huh? Pretty darn irrelevant. Don't mess with Pro like that. Don't mess with the Padres like that. How about the Dodger fans, huh? I mean, I'm sure on social media you guys saw the march. Remember, don't say parade because you're going to get yelled at by Dodger fans. It was a march by like their fan group, whatever it's called. I don't even Pantone. Pantone? I don't know what that is. But their fan group was marching through the streets of San Diego, and I guess they do this everywhere they go, which is kind of weird. In another team city to be marching on the streets like that during the regular season. I get tailgating all together. Maybe you're in the stadium and, you're all in the same section and you make a bunch of noise there. Or I think that's what Mets fans did, right? When Bartolo hit that home run against James Shields, they all were in right field, right? Something like that. Okay. Maybe take like a group picture when you're all in the ballpark. But I don't know. That just seemed a little weird, especially coming from the fan base that likes to say it's not a rivalry and they view the Padres as the little brother. It's like, man, okay, you guys really care, especially how like defensive they get, right? And Padres fans, we're defensive. I know I feel like I'm defensive on some things as well because we want to defend. I like to defend our fan base when people take shots at it. Um, but yeah, and then the video of Dodger fans like punching the police in San Diego that was I think last night. Like, come on, freaking embarrassing, really embarrassing. Like, I couldn't even imagine doing that. I wasn't there, don't know what the situation was. Maybe something was said to those Dodger fans by the police. But I find it hard to imagine that the Dodger fans did nothing wrong. But it's just embarrassing because we see videos of and Padres fans because someone's gonna probably point that out that like, oh, you don't point out Padre fans fighting. Well, it happens way less than Dodger fans, and I'll point it out. Like that's stupid as well. Anyone like that's embarrassing. Anyone that's in those videos, like, what are you doing? Why? You can't go to a baseball game without fighting? Sure, I hate the Dodgers. We hate the Dodgers, right? And the Dodgers, I know some fans, they hate Padres. Padres fans or Padres as a whole, it's a rivalry. We get it. That's what sports is. That's part of what is cool about it, Is like when a weekend like this comes, you freaking hate and not even just the weekend, but all year round. Hate the Dodgers. But I would never think about getting in a fight with a Dodger fan or going up to LA and fighting policemen. It's just stupid. If you can't I shouldn't be like the drunk police, but I assume some people get drunk and then they go fight people in the ballpark or outside the ballpark. Like if you get in fights after drinking, maybe tone it back a little bit. And this isn't even like just a like a Dodger fan thing. It's like just a human being thing. We don't have to be fighting at sporting events. We don't have to be fighting anywhere. We don't have to be fighting on the streets. It's good banter. When I'm on social media and I'm hating on something Dodgers, I'm while I'm tweeting it, I'm probably laughing about it. Because it's funny. It's fun to go back and forth. That's how I view it. And it means a lot when the Padres beat the Dodgers. I think some fans like to, ha- you know, have fun with me about it because they like to post the video of me celebrating when the Padres beat the Dodgers in the NLDS a couple years back. And sure, make fun of me. I really don't care because that's how much it meant to me. Like I had never experienced something like that in my life as a Padres fan because the Padres had never gone to the NLCS in my lifetime. You know, so um, again, like whatever, I don't care. But like, I hate the Dodgers that much as well. Like that's also why I was so emotional, and that's why these series. And it's not just me. I think it's a lot of Padres fans. It means so much, um, but it shouldn't mean fighting with each other. That's one of my points here. Like it should never get to that point. That just shouldn't happen. All right. Um, AJ Preller, will he be getting a reliever soon? I did want to hit on that. Hopefully I can get through that. Where was it here? From Kevin Acee today in his Padres Daily. I'm trying to find the exact thing that was said. It was pretty much like a topic of discussion in the Padres front office is potentially getting a reliever. Here it is. This was coming off of yesterday, right, where Waldron, he ends up doing his job, pitches fine. Actually, not just fine, but pitches well, considering that you're facing the Dodgers, you're 5-starter, you're coming off a terrible outing against the Diamondbacks. Like, I will take that Matt Waldron outing, not just against the Dodgers, but pretty much any team in baseball. I don't care how bad we think that MLB team is. When you're 5-starter, your job is to keep the Padres in the game, and that's what you did. The offense just didn't show up enough. And then the bullpen, just walks. Morejon, De Los Santos was not good enough last night. Free passes, and then Teoscar Hernandez hits the grand slam off of De Los Santos. And it's like, it's been a not great run by the bullpen. Maybe not as a whole, but some guys in the bullpen. It's been a little bit of a struggle. And that's going to ask questions, right? And Mike Shildt said after the game yesterday, they're going to have to get outs. We're going to need to keep running them out there. Oh, man. And then Kevin said that is probably what they have to do for a while, maybe. Though nothing appears imminent, it is already a topic internally about what might have to be the Padres' next acquisition, a reliever. And we know AJ Preller, he makes trades at some times that we aren't expecting. Dylan Cease right before they're about to go to South Korea. Luis Arraez in May. You're just not expecting that. Looking back on it, maybe we should have expected it because the Marlins suck and they don't want to risk an Arraez injury. The Padres have prospects. Padres need a lefty bat to ball bat as well. Works. Makes sense. But still, it was May, and it did come as a surprise. So maybe we shouldn't be surprised if AJ acquires a reliever in the next couple of weeks. I personally would. I think you want to wait to really evaluate your team a little bit more to see what type of reliever, because injuries can happen as well. Maybe Mason Miller is a name that's going to get brought up. But what I would say to that is, does that make a whole lot of sense for the Padres? No, if you're trying to win right now, yeah. Because he has a ton of control. I think he's a rookie with the A's. And he's dominating. We're talking about the bridge to Robert Suarez. The bridge shortens if you acquire someone like Mason Miller. It shortens. Both guys throw gas. And Miller's not going to be making any money because he's still on that rookie contract, obviously, So, from that sense, Padres trying to win. Guy you can have for a while. Yeah, okay. That's a 1.10 ERA, 8 saves, .673 whip entering today. He's not a free agent until 2030. We've seen the Padres trade for guys and they're a free agent at the end of the year, or like Cease and Arraez, a free agent after next year. It's not long term, right? Soto wasn't super long term. Hader wasn't long term, right? But with this guy, that is. So maybe that's what allows the Padres to say, yeah, we'll part with one of our top guys. Like maybe one of Lesko or Snelling. If they had to pick one between Snelling and Lesko, they'd probably say Lesko no. And say, like, you can go to Oakland or Sacramento. And you keep Snelling. He's closer to the big leagues. Lesko's already had some arm issues. Maybe that's they definitely probably have to give up Adam Mazur maybe Lizarraga. I mean, you're going to have to give up a lot when there's that many years of Mason Miller. Because it's one thing to trade with the A's when they're not contending and this guy is a free agent at the end of the year or a couple years. But when you have essentially his whole contract, that's an entirely different conversation. So the Padres have the pieces, I think, to pull off a Mason Miller trade. But the question is, do you really want to do that? When you have Suarez already as your closer, Wandy, he has shown that he can be a quality reliever in the big leagues. It wasn't that long ago that the Padres bullpen got off to a really good start this season. There are other guys, there are always relievers out there. It's May 12th, so we'll see. But there's always relievers out there that have, 1 year of control left or a couple years of control left that you can acquire, and you don't have to pay their entire 2024 salary because part of the year's already gone by. You don't have to give up as much either. So would you rather go the Mason Miller route and give up a lot, or go the another route, give up way less? You don't have them under control for a long time in case an arm injury happens, and you can wait. You can wait on Mason Miller as well, obviously, but you're gonna have to be giving up a lot. Now, AJ, if he thinks his job's on the line, and he's like, Miller and Suarez can be the amazing bullpen. It can be our Suarez hater duo of this 2024 run here. And if I could save my job, and if we acquire him, we'll have him for 5-6 years, whatever. And we're not really paying him anything. I'll give up these prospects that I don't know what they're going to be, how they're going to turn out at the big league level, right? Because injuries happen. You could also, though, let's say, the Padres, they're a postseason team. Preller keeps his job. You trade for Mason Miller, and those guys you give up end up being really good impact guys, and Mason Miller isn't this guy. Because what are the odds? I mean, he could, but what are the odds that he's going to have a sub, 1.5 ERA when he's with the Padres? He's going to be able to do that, keep that up. I mean, maybe. Robert Suarez doesn't seem like he's slowing down anytime soon, so maybe same thing with Mason Miller. But, I mean, I doubt it. I'll say that. I doubt it. So will AJ be getting a reliever soon? We can never take anything off the table because it's AJ Preller. But what I would say is I think it's good to give it a little bit more time, see which guys can bounce back. This is a good thing for the Padres too, because you get an opportunity to see how they deal with the adversity. Morahone, he just got like a high leverage spot. Wasn't great. How is he going to do now? Right? Matsui, how is he going to do now? De Los Santos, how is he going to do now? So the Padres bullpen, if I remember correctly, they started off really good this season. It's been an issue as of late. Kevin Acee wrote about that in his Padres Daily, and he had some numbers behind that. I thought he had some numbers behind that. Maybe not. Because he wrote about the bullpen. Here, I could just go to Yuki Matsui's game logs here and just check those out. So, if you look at Yuki Matsui, how he started this year, in his first 11 appearances, 10 innings, he had a .90 ERA. He gave up 1 earned run in his first 11 appearances. But in his last 3, he has failed to go an outing without allowing a run. He's allowed 4 earned runs in 2 1/3 innings. His ERA in his last 3 outings, 15.43. And with relievers, when you have a stretch like that, it can really pump up your ERA. So I'd encourage people to give it some more time, look at sample size, rough stretch, but hey, it's an opportunity for those guys to show what they're made of and bounce back. And No De Los Santos, if you look at his game logs, his first 13 games, he had a .77 ERA. But recently, in his last 3 outings combined, he's given up 3 earned runs, 1 earned run in each of those last 3 outings. His last 6 games, he has a 12.27 ERA. So again, it's like, look at the sample size. There's good moments. There's been bad moments. I don't really want to overreact right now. What I'll say is I don't see a Mason Miller trade happening with the Padres, but Preller has proven me wrong before, and he could do so again. Is there anything else that I wanted to, I felt like I needed to hit on? Because, again, I don't want this to be too long of a show today, guys. I was not expecting my cough to be like this. Of course, we got to do a Trevor Bauer thing. I appreciate the super chat. I really do, but I wish it wasn't signed Trevor Bauer. It's not. It's not happening. It would have already happened. There's a reason why he hasn't been signed by any big league team. So it's not happening. I don't get why people keep bringing it up. And thank you so much for the super chat. It says, go buy some Mucinex, drink water, and rest, bro. Go Pods. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, here's the thing. And I said this earlier, it was fine. It's been these last 3 or 4 days, really, I think. It's either sneezing one day or coughing, and it alternates. And today, it wasn't that bad. I didn't feel like I was coughing a ton while I was watching this Padre game. Now, I wasn't talking the whole time, so that's probably part of it, right? But yeah, it's frustrating. Thank you so much, though, for that super chat. I really do appreciate it. All right, let's go through the chat a little bit here after this quick break. Check out Gaglione Bros' famous cheesesteaks and garlic fries on Friars Road. You can visit their website, gaglionebros.com, for their entire menu and enjoy their cheesesteaks and fries at Petco Park and Snapdragon Stadium as well. All right, let's power through here. Getting to the chat. Arraez says, Darvish hungry for that Dodger blood. Will Smith was irrelevant again, says SDSU Man 1. Yeah. Amazing series from him, huh? From a Padre fan perspective. G-Money says, LFGSD, this team is definitely here to stay. We're coming for not just the postseason, but the division too. Why not us? Thanks as always for the show, Ben. Well, I like the mentality. I like the optimism. I like the energy there in that comment. But why not the division? I mean, because it's the Dodgers. The Padres might win the season series, but there's a ton of games that does not include the Padres facing the Dodgers. And the Dodgers it seems like they win a lot of those games. They came in with a 7-game winning streak. They swept the Braves. When they're not playing the Padres, there's some stretches where they play ridiculously good baseball. So that's where it's because the Dodgers are going to win the division. They're a more talented baseball team than the Padres are on paper. And it's fine. Go win the NL West. Would we like to win the NL West? Yeah. But it's not the end of the world. What matters the most is what happens in the postseason. In these last couple of years, the Padres have done nothing. Excuse me, the Dodgers. The Dodgers have done nothing in the postseason. They lose to us in the NLDS. And in 2023, they didn't win a single postseason game. Same amount of postseason wins as the Padres. So they can be all happy about winning the NL West and still saying that they're the big boy in the NL West. Okay, let's see what's going to happen in the postseason. You know, they have 0 full World Series full regular season, where they have to play a postseason game at Dodger Stadium. They have none of that since 1988. What was I then? Negative like 15. It's been a long time. And I get it. Dodger fans could say, well, when have the Padres won? I get it. We haven't. But I just feel like Dodger fans, they act like they're so good, way better than everybody else, but it's not. They're not. When all things are said and done, what matters the most is winning a World Series. And they're not, it's not like they're on a level way above everybody else in the league. That's just not the case. Yeah, Brent, I agree. Hopefully Xander gets it going. Some Fried Trash says huge series W today. Had a shot at the sweep, but a W is a W. 5-3 against the Dodgers this season, looking good right now. Yeah, I'll take that for sure. Not asking them to go 8-2 against them. Have a winning record, competitive games. Yeah, I agree with this, RJ. Padres rent free in Dodger World. That's what it feels like. Yeah, Ha-Seong, that's another thing. Thank you, Jesse. That's something I wanted to bring up. Ha-Seong Kim gets hit in the wrist. Had a hard time taking his batting glove off. He was really in pain. It was like a fastball, 90s from Walker Buehler. Of course, the last pitch Buehler threw ends up taking Kim out of the game. And Tyler Wade ends up playing short. Little surprising that they didn't have Bogarts go play short and Wade played second, but whatever. The update that I saw was that the x-rays were negative, so that's good, but I wouldn't be surprised if Kim does not play tomorrow, and it would be Tyler Wade probably. Maybe they have Bogarts play short. You could have Arraez play second. You could have Cronenworth play first. And then you have Donovan Solano DH. You could have Donovan Solano play second. You know? So, Kim, I don't need him rushing things back. I'm totally okay with him. Even if he takes the whole series off against Colorado, you know? I think there's a day off after that as well. Like, it hasn't been a great start to the season offensively for Ha-Seong Kim. Get back. Get this thing well. Hopefully come back, and then he can really get this season going because we know he's important to this team. He's important defensively, and when he can be kind of like a spark offensively, that's another spark to this lineup. There's sparks in this lineup. There's Merrill, there's Profar, there's Arraez, Tatis. Those are just ones that immediately come to mind that I can describe as like sparks. But Ha-Seong Kim, when he's going, that's another one. J-Fly says, I wore the X shirt today and it paid off. What, the San Diego one? I have one of those from Breaking Tea. By the way, Breaking Tea, great Padres shirts, sweatshirts, Aztecs, and Wave as well. Click that link in the description for them. They've got a bunch of great shirts. They have the Profar Mr. Relevant shirt, obviously. So make sure to check them out. SeatGeek code Talking Friars. $20 off your order there. And then Underdog Fantasy, as you will see in the ticker, first time 50% deposit match up to $250, and you can claim a special pick when you use code Talking Friars. Click that link in the description there for Underdog Fantasy. Continuing to go through the chat. No, there's probably Dodger fans in here, Padre fans crying over a win. No, I'm not crying over a win. No, that's not till the postseason, buddy. I feel like crap. You know, that's what it pretty much comes down to. Diego says, I find this rotation very interesting. Just when I think the Dodgers have King and Waldron's number, they go and surprise me. This team does not need Bauer. Stop pushing it already and enjoy the team. Exactly. Like, people are pushing Trevor Bauer, and it's like, did you just see what this rotation just did? Joe Musgrove, hopefully he's coming back. If he can pitch like Yu Darvish is pitching, you got one of the best rotations in baseball, period. Because Darvish is pitching like an ace. Cease pitching like an ace. Michael King, we're not going to get that Michael King that was on Friday. We're not going to get that every time out, but he's had some really good outings this year. Some where he's given up home runs, but but the longer that he goes as a starter, the more confidence I have that he's going to figure that out and get more into a routine and identify, okay, what do I need to do to avoid that, right? So sometimes it takes time. And with Waldron, sometimes you're going to have bad outings. I think we need to accept that he's going to have bad outings. He's the 5 starter. He's not the 1 starter. He's not the 2. He's not the 3. You know, we got to accept that he's the 5 starter when Musgrove's healthy. You get my point. We got to accept that when you're a knuckleballer, sometimes it's just not going to work. And sometimes you're going to give up 4 runs in a game. You're going to give up more than that in a game. You're not going to go long sometimes. It happens. But then there's sometimes where you pitch really well against the Dodgers, like Waldron did. That home run that he gave up the other night against Freddie Freeman, that wasn't even a bad pitch. Go look back at where the pitch location was on that Freddie home run. I'm fine. If sometimes you do tip your cap on that. So right now, I'm fine. I think that another guy is going to be added by Preller, but for now, yeah, I'm fine. I'm happy with what this rotation's producing. Now, all of that is pretty much, it's fluid because I'm judging it on, okay, what did this last time through the rotation look like? Right? And the next time through the rotation could be crap. And then we're not feeling good. It's kind of like the bullpen, right? But things flow. But right now, all I could say is how I feel right now. I feel good about the rotation. And I feel confident the bullpen is still going to be in a pretty good spot. I think Solano, J-Fly, he's going to get that opportunity. It doesn't feel like Kim's going to be just playing in the lineup tomorrow. And if there's someone that Solano's going to be hitting more for, it would be Bogaerts. He would, at least like for fans, right? But I don't think Schilt wants to take Bogaerts out of the lineup for, 3-4 days at a time. I think that's more of a 1-2 day thing. Maybe a day off, and then there's an off day, so you have 2 days in a row, and then you can get him back at it. Because I think Schilt believes in Bogaerts. He's seen the track record, and he has respect for guys that have done that at the big league level, right? And they're not. He's not 37. But yeah, Solano, when Manny's DHing, I am totally okay with him playing and him being in the lineup. I'm okay with Solano DHing when Manny's at third, and you have Arraez at second, or excuse me, at first if Cronenworth's for some reason not in the lineup, like on Saturday. I'm fine with Solano. I like him pinch hitting. Like, I'm glad the Padres pulled him up because who knows if he'd be in the organization still if they didn't. Because I think Kevin wrote something about that. Because that's a good bat to have. Because injuries happen, obviously, as we saw today with Kim. We'll see what his future is. I'm trying to see if there any update. So Jeff Sanders says X-rays negative on Kim, who is wearing a compression sleeve on his left wrist/forearm to control the swelling. Kim says, I feel much better than the moment I got hit. I'll have to wait and see until tomorrow to see if I can play. Yeah, I'd probably just not play him. What's the need to rush? Some would say, well, Ben, you got to be urgent with every game. And I understand that. But I believe in Donovan Solano. I believe in Luis Arraez. I believe in Jake Cronenworth. I believe in other guys, Tatis. I believe in other guys. I believe in Manny. It's been rough for Manny as well, but I believe in the talent of Manny Machado. I believe in a lot of guys in this lineup. And Wade can fill in fine defensively. He's not the best offensively, but he can make some things happen still. Mark, anyone know when Musgrove will be back? Hopefully the Brave series. I think the 17th, that Friday game. So at Atlanta, hopefully. If not, then hope that Randy Vasquez, Johnny Burrito, or whoever the piggyback is there, hopefully they will be able to step in and pitch fine. Keep the Padres in the game. That's all I ask. Yeah, Carlos, that was a good thing, huh? The compete for Pete towel in their dugout. That was after the Arraez walk-off. The Padres posted some pictures on social media, and I saw in the background the compete for Pete towel, and I'm like, that's sick. I don't know why the Padres didn't have that as a giveaway on opening day or during this Dodger series. Like, maybe they're waiting for the postseason. I don't know. Seems like a no-brainer to do, but maybe that's just me. Because they had so many of those. What was it? I forget what was exactly. Let's Go Padres or something on those yellow towels. I'm sure some of you guys have those. I had a bunch of them. All right, that's going to do it, everybody. Obviously, I'm glad that my throat kind of made it through, 50 plus minutes of the show. Episode 597. If you want post-game reactions, like better post-game reactions from the first two games in this series, go on the YouTube channel. You'll find them. Hopefully, I will be better come the Rockies series. But yeah, that's it. Have a great rest of your night, everybody, and see ya. Padres take 2 out of 3.